This is Ken Coleman speaking. We present for you another game from the Miley. We hope that you enjoy.
The New York.
This is Ken.
Air. Good afternoon.
This is Ken.
For Bill McColgan and Dick Lynch.
This is Ken.
Stadium as the New York Football Giants opened their 1969 season by playing host to the Minnesota Vikings.
And I too.
This is Ken.
Webster as he starts his career as coach in the NFL.
And now for the starting lineup, once again our play-by-play man, Bill McColgan.
Offensively for the Minnesota Vikings, number 53, Nick Tingeloff is at center, 6'2", 237 from Nebraska. At left guard, a former New York Giant, Bookie Bolin, number 66 from Mississippi. The right guard, number 64, 6'2", 250-pounder, Milt Sunday from Minnesota. The right tackle, number 71, Doug Davis of Kentucky. The left tackle, number 67, Grady Alderman, 6'2", 245-pounder from Detroit. At tight end is Kent Kramer, number 89 from Minnesota, 6'4", 232. The wide receivers will be Gene Washington from Michigan State, 6'3", 208, wearing number 84. And number 80, John Henderson, 6'3", 195 from Michigan. At quarterback this afternoon, starting for the Vikings, number 15, Gary Cawazzo, who was signed originally by the Baltimore Colts as a free agent, 6'1", 196. Dave Osborne at one of the running back spots is from North Dakota. We mentioned him earlier, 6 feet 209. Bill Brown will be at the other spot. He's number 30. He's from Illinois and one of the finest fullbacks in the National Football League today. Defensively for the New York Giants, it'll be Willie Williams, Carl Lockhart, Bruce Moore, and Scott Eaton in the backfield. The linebackers, Tommy Crutcher, Ralph Heck, number 55, will play the middle linebacker spot. And Henry Davis, who throughout the preseason schedule, or most of it, played at the middle position, has been moved to an outside spot. He's from Grambling, 6'3", 235 pounds. Up front, it'll be rookie Fred Dreyer, number 89 from San Diego State. On the left side, Bob Lertzema will be at one of the tackles, number 71 from Western Michigan. Frank Parker, newcomer. He started his career with the Cleveland Browns, then was traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers and just joined the Giants a few days ago. Number 72 he'll be wearing. He's 6'4", 253 pounds. A tremendous ovation that you hear in the background is for the new Giants head football coach, Alex Webster. Alex, a great favorite as a player here with the New York Giants for many years, gets a standing ovation.
And I don't know, Bill, whether he's ready to cry or ready to play. He's very emotional, and he's quite thrilled about the way the New York fans, and I think fans throughout the Northeast here, are taken to his being announced as the coach for the New York Giants. He's very thrilled about it, and he wants to really prove that he is going to be a great coach.
Dick, we didn't complete that front four. Bruce Anderson will be at defensive end, 6'4", 250-pounder, wearing number 79. He's from Willamette. The officials for this afternoon's game, the referee is Jim Tunney, the umpire is Lou Palazzi, the head linesman is Walt Peters, the back judge is Fred Silva, the field judge is Richard Dolick, and the line judge is Bob Frederick. Pete Gogolak is teeing the ball up on the 40-yard line. Incidentally, Pete has picked up some additional duties in the last week. He is now going to be the Giants' punter as well as the place kicker. Bill Harris, number 35, and Clinton Jones, number 26, are the deep men for the Vikings. And Gogolak's kick is in the air. Number 26, Clinton Jones, takes it down near the goal line. He moves out quickly up the middle and runs it back nicely, getting across the 25-yard line, up very close to the 30-yard line before the tackle was made by rookie Al Brenner of Michigan State for the New York Giants. So Gogolak's kick went down to just about the goal line. And a fine return gives the Vikings the ball first and 10 on their own 28-yard line. Gary Cawazzo is at quarterback. He has Osborne and Brown with him as the running backs. Cawazzo back to throw on first down. He fires down the middle. It is no good. A little short. It was intended for Gene Washington, the wide receiver on the left side, the far side. The Vikings are moving from our left to our right here in the first quarter of this football game, the opener of the 1969 NFL regular season. Other games today, Cleveland at Philadelphia, Washington at New Orleans, St. Louis at Dallas, Detroit at Pittsburgh, LA at Baltimore in a big one, San Francisco at Atlanta, and Chicago at Green Bay in the oldest series in the NFL. 2nd and 10 for the Vikings. Handoff this time goes to Osborne, and Osborne is nailed after he gets short yardage, hitting the middle of the Giant line. He gets up to about the 34-yard line. Fred Dreyer, the rookie defensive end, makes the stop.
And this is the first big play for Gary Quazzo at quarterback. Talking to Jim Fink, the general manager, before the game, they started Quazzo because they think if he gets hot, he can put a lot of points on that scoreboard.
3rd down and about 5 yards to go. The ball on the 33. A pickup of 5 on the last play. Quazzo gets plenty of time. He throws to Washington. He makes the catch. He gets up and he's going with it. Now it is ruled that he was out of bounds, apparently. And the 41, Willie Williams, was defending on the play, but I don't think he came into contact with Washington.
No, he didn't, but as Gene Washington caught the ball was thrown low by Quazzo. He caught it, and his feet went out of bounds immediately upon the catch. He caught the ball inside the far sideline, and his feet went outside, immediately out of bounds.
1st and 10 for the Vikings on their own 48-yard line. Quazzo calls the signals. He gives this time to his fullback, Brown, and Brown gets up to about the 50. As he moved in behind the left side of his line, crosses the 50 into Giant territory at the 49-yard line, where he was hit by Lertzema and Ralph Heck. So he gains 3 on the play. Brown carrying for the first time this afternoon. And the Vikings have 2nd and 7. The ball on the New York 49. Out of the huddle they come. Tingelhoff over the ball at center. Quazzo at quarterback calls the signals. Washington out to the left. Quazzo on a screen throws it intended for Osborne, and it was intercepted. It was picked off by Tommy Crutcher. It was a screen pass out to the left, and it was intended for Osborne. He got his hands on the ball but bobbled it, and the Giants come up with the first big break of this football game as they have the ball on the Minnesota 47-yard line. First down and 10 yards to go, so let's see what the Blue Jersey Giants can do with it. Tarkenton at quarterback. Long count on the first play. Hands off to Ernie Coy. Swings wide to the right, cuts in off tackle. And he goes from the 47 down to about the 42, a gain of 5. Chapstick has been selected as the official lip balm of the Eastern Surfing Association. Surfers know it soothes, smooths, and protects their lips. Why not get chapstick yourself in the familiar black and white tube?
And this is a new innovation, Bill, that Alex Webster's been dying to try. Tucker Fredrickson and Ernie Coy in the same backfield. 2 big, strong boys. Both can block equally well, and they can move the football for the Giants. This is the way to attack the Vikings.
Joe Morrison is in the ball game. He's out to the left. There's a mix-up on the line of scrimmage as the handoff goes to Tucker Fredrickson, and he barrels in behind the right side of his line, and is down to the 35-yard line. Now let's see what the penalty marker is for. Morrison has started the ball game in place of the injured Aaron Thomas. The officials are talking to Fran Tarkenton. It's an offside penalty against Minnesota. It has been declined because Tucker Fredrickson gained 7 yards on the play from the 42 to the 35-yard line, and the Giants have sufficient yardage for the first down. So they have 1st and 10 on the Minnesota 35-yard line. Greg Larson over the ball at center. Tarkenton calls the signals. Morrison is out to the right this time. Coy and Fredrickson are the running backs. Another long count by Tarkenton. Hands off to Fredrickson. He hits the middle of the line and goes down to about the 30-yard line. Scramble for the ball. Alan Page makes the tackle for Minnesota along with Carl Eller. One of the most feared front fours in football, Jim Marshall and Carl Eller, the ends, Alan Page and Gary Larson, the tackles. Fredrickson moved from the 35 to the 31-yard line. Actually, in very close to the 30-yard line. call it 2nd down and 5 yards to go. Morrison out to the left. Homer Jones on the right this time. Tarkenton at quarterback. Checking the Minnesota defense, another long count. He throws it out to the right to Fredrickson. Fredrickson gets away from one tackler and then is pulled down. Gary Larson making the stop on the play. Tarkenton throwing to Tucker Fredrickson. They get the ball in to just about the line of scrimmage. The 30-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 5. Dick?
And it came very close that time to being intercepted by Carl Eller. He got into the backfield real quick, targeting threw the ball right between his raised arms, and Tucker made a fine catch, but Eller was right there in that backfield.
Well, here's the first big 3rd down play for the Giants this afternoon. Homer Jones is out to the left. Morrison is on the line of scrimmage as the split right end. Another movement on the line there. Tarkenton back to throw. He's running with the ball. Tarkenton's at the 30. Tarkenton down to the 25, and he may have enough for the first down. It was Lonnie Warwick, number 59, the Vikings middle linebacker who was in pursuit.
And this is the second time, Bill, that they've tried to blitz. The first time, Fran Tarkenton called a quick trap play to Tucker Fredrickson. The second time, he saw him coming, and he leaped right up the middle. He took the place of number 59 Warwick, where he actually should be standing, but on his drop into the center of the Giant line, he stepped up to the right and took off to the near side of the field and picked up the first down. So the big 3rd down play, Tarkenton accomplished it once again.
It is 1st and 10 for the New York Giants on the Minnesota Vikings 23-yard line. Morrison on left end this time, split by just a couple of yards. Homer Jones way out on the right side. Fredrickson and Coy in the backfield along with Tarkenton. The handoff goes to Coy. He moves in behind his right guard and right tackle. Van Horn and Steve Wright. He's tackled by Carl Eller after picking up a couple of yards on the play.
And they are running through the inside of Carl Eller. He takes a good, strong outside move. Wright and Doug Van Horn that time both double team Gary Larson. And that's the way it's going to be for the Giants. Off tackle inside Eller and inside the other big end for the Minnesota Vikings, Jim Marshall, number 70.
Coy gained 3 at 2nd down and 7 for the Giants on the Vikings 20-yard line. Tarkenton calls the signals, goes back, and this time he's nailed in back of the line of scrimmage. Gary Larson driving in to make the stop. So here's a great idea for you Giant fans, a football weekend in New York for one of the Giant home games. And to make certain it's a fun-packed weekend, make your headquarters at one of the Lowe's 8 great New York hotels or motor inns. Stay at the skyscraping Americana and visit the star-studded Royal Box Supper Club or a swing at the Summit on the east side where you can dance away the night in the Gaucho Room. Another big 3rd down play as Tarkenton that time was dropped back on the 24-yard line. It is 3rd down now, 11 yards to go. Homer Jones out to the left, Morrison to the right. Freeman White at tight end. Tarkenton back, starts to run. He has some running room. He gets away from one tackler and then is dropped down at about the 18, 17-yard line. Lonnie Warwick. Dick, if he could have avoided that one tackle right there, he might have gone all the way on that far side.
He did try. He was going to the sidelines. He saw exactly how far he had to go to pick up the first down, but it was a real good tackle, and they just pulled him right down. He's not the strongest runner in the world, but a very valuable commodity when you consider Tarkenton with that football running and guys like Page, Marshall, Larson, and Eller chasing him. You got to be a little bit concerned.
He got to the 18-yard line. It's 4th down, 4 to go, and Gogolak is trying for a field goal. The ball will be spotted at the 25-yard line. The boot is in the air. It is good, and the New York Giants have taken the lead in the football game. Score, the Giants 3, the Vikings nothing. More Giant football in 60 seconds. For 1970, if you want a dealer that makes it, make the scene at Armory Garage, Central at Colvin, Albany. Open house Tuesday, September 23rd and Wednesday, September 24th. See the fantabulous new Chryslers, Plymouths, and Imperials for 1970. Mod enough to please the hippies, modern enough for you. Luxurious 1970 Imperials, LeBarons, Crowns. 1970 New Yorkers, Newports, 300 sports models, big Chryslers, Town and Countries, 1970 Plymouths, Furies, new version of the Roadrunner, the GTX, Belvederes, Satellites, Valiants, and Valiant Dusters, and the completely redesigned Barracuda series. But enough about cars. How about the dealer? Armory Garage has 101 time payment plans. Buy, sign, and pay. One modern stop. See the new ones on September 23rd and September 24th. Armory Garage, Central at Colvin, Albany, Route 5, 2 miles east of the Northway. Get with it now for a 1970 wow! By Tommy Crutcher. They moved in as far as the 18-yard line and then were forced to go for the field goal, and Gogolak pumped it through from 25 yards out to give the New York club a 3-0 lead. With 8:08 remaining to be played in the opening period of the opening game of the 1969 season. And now Gogolak is ready to kick off once again for the Giants. Clinton Jones and Bill Harris are the deep men once again for the Minnesota Vikings.
And on that first kickoff, Clinton Jones, Bill, as you saw here, almost broke it. He reminds me a lot of Ollie Matson when he carries that ball. And anyone can go all the way. It's Clinton Jones, so we have to be pretty careful on this next kickoff.
There's the whistle. It's a low kick this time. It bounces down, and it's taken by Clinton Jones. He's at the 10. He's across the 20, and he's moving greatly on the outside. He's over the 50. He's down to the Giant 40, 35, 25-yard line, and it's finally pulled down. Lockhart made the saving tackle, and you just finished talking about it, Dick, and all of a sudden here he comes up the middle, got a couple of blocks, and headed for the far sideline. The low kick was taken at, I would guess, about the 7-yard line.
And he's big and strong, and he's got great speed. He just took off to the outside and almost outdistanced everybody.
The ball is on the New York Giants 24-yard line as a result of a tremendous return by Clinton Jones. So the Vikings quickly get back in here. They trail 3-0. Cuozzo calls the signals. Handoff goes to Osborne. He tries the left side of the Giant line and gets about 4, maybe 5 yards inside the 20. Scott Eaton, number 20 for the Giants, along with number 55, Ralph Heck, combined to make the tackle. Osborne, we mentioned earlier, in 1967 gained almost 1,000 yards, but then came up with a knee injury and missed last year. Gary Cuozzo, the quarterback for the Vikings, starting here today, missed much of last season also.
Well, we have them running right at Henry Davis. You might see him fake it now and try to get someone behind the linebackers. They're playing real tight.
2nd and 6. The ball is at the 20. Hand off to Osborne. Goes the other side, and he's down inside the 10 to about the 9, the 8-yard line. He hit that opening quickly and moved well afterwards, and it was Carl Lockhart who met him head-on at the 8-yard line. But the Vikings have a first down and goal to go on the Giant 8-yard line as they try to capitalize on that great kickoff return by Clinton Jones. Vikings out of the huddle. Tingelhoff, an all-pro center, over the ball. Gary Cuozzo calling the signals, has Washington out on the left side. Handoff goes once again to Osborne, and he's inside the 5 and down to about the 4. And this time he tried moving in behind the right side of his line. So he's gone from right to left and back to right. Spot the ball at the 5-yard line, so a gain of 3 for Osborne, 2nd down. And goal to go for the Vikings, the ball just inside the 5-yard line. The Giant defense trying to dig in here as the Giants lead 3-0 with 5:45 remaining to be played in the opening quarter before another sellout crowd at Yankee Stadium in New York City. Both ends are tight for the Vikings this time as Cuozzo calls the signals. Handoff again to Osborne, and he's nailed as he gets to about the 3. That time he went in behind the right side of his line. Frank Parker and Bruce Anderson teamed up to make the tackle. Osborne, certainly, Dick, they're not afraid of that knee injury that he has recovered from, because they've handed him the ball on the last 4 plays, and they've all been hard-hitting plays.
Right, and he is fully recovered, and they're going to use him a lot. If he gets back to his running form, he was second in the league, I think, 2 years ago in rushing. He's a fine runner.
It is 3rd down and goal to go from about 3 yards out. Quazzo throwing a pass over the middle, and it's broken up. It was intended for John Henderson, I believe. Bruce Anderson. Big defensive lineman batted it down, and so now Fred Cox comes into the football game for Minnesota. Giant defense digging in there to stop the Viking drive and forcing them now to try for the field goal.
It's not a difficult angle, Bill. It's right in front of the uprights. It's almost like a 1-point extra point conversion here.
Paul Krause spots the ball. The boot is in the air. It is good. And the score is the Giants 3, the Vikings 3. More Giant football after this word from Valentine.
And ask the man for Valentine Premium Lager Beer.
Well, it's a tie ball game here at Yankee Stadium. Minnesota 3, New York 3, as the Vikings come right back on a field goal by Freddie Cox and the running of Dave Osborne. And we're set to kick off. The Vikings will kick deep to the Giants, and once again our play-by-play man, Bill McColgan.
Fred Cox, who just booted the field goal, gets ready to kick off for the Vikings. Well, Dick, you call that long shot, but Clinton Jones returning that kick, and it set up the Vikings equalizer. But the Giants defense did dig in there.
And they have to stop that running attack if they're going to be successful today. For the Giants, Fuqua has the ability to break it all the way too. I'm not going to call it again, but he has great speed, and he's a tough boy to bring down.
Cox kicking off. Fuqua takes it at the 5, 10, 15, 20. Fuqua to the 25, and Fuqua gets to the 26-yard line, and down he goes. Oscar Reed, the man who made the tackle. Cox kick for Minnesota to about the Giant 5-yard line. And Fuqua moved it back from there to 25. Ball nose just over the 25-yard line. We'll call it the 25. 1st and 10. Or call it the 26. A little closer to the 26. Giants out of the huddle in a 3-3 ball game with 4:24 left to play in the first quarter. Sharkenden fakes to Coy. Looks like he's going for the long one, and he can't find the receiver in the open. It was intended, or in the area anyhow, with Homer Jones, but it looked like Sharkenden might have thrown it away because there was good coverage on Homer Jones and the other receivers.
All right, the linebackers follow Homer as he was coming across the middle. Actually, they were trying to knock him down. Sharkenden, of course, was pursued once again by that front four for the Minnesota Vikings. He had a little bit of trouble getting away from them, and he didn't have much time to throw the ball set up, so he just took it and hit it in the direction where Homer was running, so no one could get a hold of it.
Rookie Don Herman is in the ball game now. One of the wide receivers replacing Joe Morrison. Jones is on this side and Herman is on the far side. He's in the backfield as the flanker with Jones on the line as the split left end. Sharkenden throws the flare pass to Coy. Coy gets away from one man and then is pulled down at the 30-yard line. Wally Hilgenberg, 6-year veteran from the University of Iowa, makes the tackle. Ball goes to the 30-yard line. where it'll be third down and about 6 yards to go.
It's interesting to see how Alex Webster is going to try to attack this Viking defense with two boys like Tucker and Ernie Coy in the backfield. You might want to keep them in the block, but they both have the ability to catch the ball.
The rush is on Tarkin, and he gets it away, and it's almost intercepted. Bobby Bryant went high in the air, tried to pull it in over his shoulder, and it looked like Tarkin fired that time out of desperation, Dick.
Right, and they had a blitz, an all-out blitz. In fact, that was a safety blitz that time. Dale Hackbart came up at the line of scrimmage and put the pressure on Tarkington. It was an automatic, and it has been in the past. When they have that blitz on, go to Homer on a quick down and in. That time, Homer just didn't have enough speed to get rolling and catch the ball. And here comes Pete Gogolak, first attempt in the National Football League to be a punter. And he has the wind at his back.
Gogolak back to do the kicking. Stands at the 16. Will kick from about the 20. There's a rush on him, but he gets the kick away. And it is taken by Charlie West at about the 25-yard line. And he doesn't get much of a return on the play.
With the score, the Vikings 3 and the Giants 3. The Giants striking first on a field goal by Pete Gogolak. And the Vikings coming back with veteran Freddie Cox hitting the crossbar. It's been an exciting first quarter. And once again, Bill McCaldon.
Time still out on the playing field, a 3-3 score. What impressed me most, the way the Giants had the ball when they had it the first time, Dick, was they really came out looking like they were a fired-up ball club and want to do something for Mr. Webster today.
And they ran with the ball, and the second series of down, Tarkington went right to the air right from the start, and it was a different ball game down at the 25-yard line. So they'll have to, again, get back to that running game and get that going first before the pass is going to be effective.
Vikings ball first and 10 on their own 31. Osborne gets the carry, goes out wide to the right, and comes up to about the 35-yard line. Henry Davis and Bob Lertzema make the tackle on the play. Osborne running extremely well. And so far, he has been the workhorse in that Minnesota backfield. Second down at 6 yards to go as Osborne kicks up 4 yards. Bozo calling the signals. Has Brown and Osborne in the backfield with him. He fakes the running play and down to the back. Over the fullback. Giants get a rush on him. Dreyer and Lertzema, with Bruce Anderson also helping out.
And I think that's the first time the Giant defensive line has tackled anyone behind the line of scrimmage. I mean, the quarterback anyway. And it's really good to see. And that boy, that time, he came flying back there. Fred Dreyer was back there. Lertzema was back there. They were right on top of him.
The loss goes from the 35 back to the 27-yard line. A loss of 8 yards on the play. It is third down and 14 yards to go. And now Gary Cuozzo takes a long time in the Minnesota huddle. Gene Washington goes out to the left. John Henderson, number 80, swings to the right. Cuozzo back to throw. They rush him again. He gets the pass away, and it's almost intercepted. It was intended for Henderson. It went off his fingertips, and then Willie Williams had it, juggled the ball, and dropped it.
He came right in behind him, and that's good position to be. If the ball's in the air, you can go right through that receiver and you get your hands on it. That time the ball went off the hands of number 84, Gene Washington, and he almost intercepted it. He has the ability then to knock him down or go after the ball. That time he chose to go for the ball, but he couldn't hold on to it. But one thing they did do, they stopped the Vikings, and this is pretty important. Now the Giants should get the ball in pretty good position.
Bob Lee back to do the punting on fourth down at 14 yards to go. It's an end-over-end low kick taken at the 31 by Lockhart. He's at the 35. He gets away from one tackle, reverses the field, and now it's dropped back inside the 30 at the 28-yard line. He was up to the 35-yard line, was boxed in, reversed his field, and ended up by losing the yardage he had picked up. Lee's punt went to about the 26-yard line. And Lockhart was back to the 35. Now they put the ball down at the 32-yard line. And the Giants have 1st and 10 at that spot.
On the 33.
They say he was pushed back from the 32 inside the 30. So the Giants put it in play at the 32. Fredrickson and Fuqua are now the running backs. Hand off to Fuqua. He goes nowhere. Matter of fact, lost yardage on the play. Gary Larson and Carl Eller, the left side of the Minnesota defensive line, combining to make the stop. Fuqua was nailed very close to the 30.
Larson and Eller both that time were inside the Giants' offensive line. By the time Pete Case pulled out of the line to knock him out, it's on the trap play, they had the ball carrier. So they got there before Pete Case did. And you got to stop them at the line of scrimmage. These boys react very, very fast. Big and strong.
Second down, about 12 yards to go. The ball just nosed over the 30-yard line. Homer Jones goes out to the right, and Don Herman, the rookie, is on the left side. Tarkenton back to throw. He throws the flare pass out to the right. It is good to Fredrickson, and he gets across the 35 to about the 37-yard line. And there's a flag on the play. Against the good rush once again, Tarkenton got off the flare pass out to the right to Fredrickson. Here's Sal McBee, defensive back. And Roy Winston, the 8-year veteran from LSU, a linebacker, made the stop on the play. They're talking to the Minnesota defensive captain, Jim Marshall, and the penalty is going to be against the New York Giants. A clipping penalty. Giants are penalized all the way back to the 21-yard line as a result of the clip. They had the ball up at the 35-yard line. Second down and 22 yards to go for the Giants. And they'll be rushing him this time. Tarkenton back to throw against the rush. Throws to the sidelines to Fuqua. He catches the ball and then is hit and hit hard. Dale Hackford. That 5th defensive back was the man who made the tackle. Moved the ball to the 22-yard line. It's a gain of just 1 yard on the completed pass from Tarkenton to the rookie Fuqua. It's one thing Dale Hackford has always liked to hit.
He is a strong boy. He's been around the league, I think, 8 years from Wisconsin. He goes about 210, 212 pounds, big and strong, and he does like to hit.
And there's the end of the first quarter. The score, the New York Giants 3, the Minnesota Vikings 3. More Giant football after this word from Mobil.
Honey? You've been bathing for an hour now. Come on out.
Oh, just give me 5 more minutes.
What are you doing? Get that monster out of our bathtub.
That's no monster. That's our car's engine.
What's it doing in the tub?
I'm cleaning it. To help get better mileage.
But, honey, look at the ring you're leaving around the tub.
I think that's a fan bell.
It's not so dumb wanting to clean your engine. A cleaner engine can help keep your car from stalling. But there's an easier way. Mobil detergent gasoline. Whether you use premium or regular, both blends of Mobil help clean the inside of your engine for you. All you do is drive your car. So if you want to help make your car run better, you don't have to give your engine a bath. Just use Mobil detergent gasoline. We clean up what most gasolines make dirty.
To the start of the second quarter here at Yankee Stadium, the score, the Giants 3, the Vikings 3. The Giants showing an impressive ground game behind Fredrickson, Coy, and Fuqua. We're ready for the start, and here's Phil McColgan.
It's third down and 21 yards to go. The Giants have completed 3 passes and have gained just 5 yards on the 3 throws, and this time Homer Jones is way offside. Tarkenton running around back there still. Now he fires intended for Homer Jones. It's way out of bounds, way overthrown. It wouldn't have made any difference because Homer Jones completely lost track of the count or something that time, and he started off long before the ball was snapped.
Well, that is one thing that Alex did change this week. Maybe Homer didn't have enough time to work with it. the Giants changed their cadence count. When Tarkenton gets over the ball, he usually goes hut, hut, hut. Now with Alex in there as coach, he's made him, he changed it to be hut 1, hut 2, hut 3. So they have a little bit more rhythm going off that ball. And that time, Homer left a little bit early. It looked like it should have been on hut 2, and Homer left on hut 1. But the Vikings refused the penalty. Now it's 4th down and 20 to go. For the
ball on the 22-yard line as Pete Gogolak was back to do the punting. Charlie West and Bobby Bryant are deep. Gogolak gets the kick away at the short one, taken at the 41 by Bryant. Bryant is to the 45 and almost to the 50-yard line. For a fast relief from dry chapped lips, use Chapstick Lip Balm. Ask the pros. There's a supply of Chapstick in all locker rooms with the National Football League. Get Chapstick yourself and don't take your lips anywhere without it. The ball is right on the 50-yard line. It was a low kick by Gogolak, taken at the 41 by Bryant, and he got back to the 50-yard line before he was stopped. And so the Vikings take over in fine field position at the midfield stripe. Cuozzo calling the signals. Handoff goes to the fullback, Bill Brown this time, one of the few times he's carried thus far in the ball game. And Brown goes straight ahead and gets into about the 47-yard line, so he gains 3 on the play. 2nd down and 7 yards to go for the Minnesota Vikings in a tie football game. 3-3.
Now, Cuozzo hasn't attempted yet to go deep on any pass pattern. You might see him try to go this time on a deep pass pattern.
2nd down and 7 yards to go. Cuozzo going back to throw. Cuozzo is looking deep, and there's a man out there all alone, and he's going in for a touchdown. Untouched, John Henderson. He got about 10 yards out in back of Scott Eaton. You're 2 for 2 today, Dick.
Well, it's a shame that time he actually was hitting the short square out to turn inside short stuff, and the back got to get the feeling sometimes that they're not going to go for that short pass anymore. They are going to go deep. That was the time for it. They had good position on that. It was 2nd and about 3 or 2nd and about 6 to go. That was the time to go for the bomb.
Cox trying for the extra point. The boot is in the air. It's good, and the score is Minnesota 10, the Giants 3. More Giant football in 30 seconds.
Mike's Giant Submarine is called the King of Sandwiches, the great one. Building a Mike's submarine, how do they do it? Well, they take a real Italian roll, layers of crisp lettuce, sliced red ripe tomato, tangy cheese, mild onion, stacked high with those choice cold cuts, and then they top it with Mike's own special seasoned dressing. It's delicious. One bite will tell you this is the best submarine sandwich you ever had. Nothing but a Mike's will do. Great for parties, outings, picnics, and late snacks. Visit Mike's real soon.
All my men wear English.
Leather, toiletries for men.
The Minnesota Vikings scoring the first touchdown of the football game on a 47-yard pass from Cuozzo to Henderson. And Henderson was 10 yards out in back of the nearest man, Scott Eaton. And so Fred Cox now awaits for the football to kick off. Dick?
And again, Cuozzo, let me say it for his benefit, he threw a beautiful pass. He did have ample time to throw the ball. He went back, set up deep, took his time, waited for Henderson to get loose, and by that time he was well on his way to a touchdown. A lot of time, fine blocking by the offensive line for the Vikings, and not good on the pass rush by the Giants.
It's another low kick by Cox. It is taken by Holofield at the 10. He's to the 15. Holofield almost breaks into the open. He gets across the 35-yard line to about the 37-yard line, and Bob Grimm made the tackle that, I believe, kept Holofield from going the distance. A low kick by Cox taken at the New York Giant 10-yard line. Holofield getting a fine return to the 37, where it's first down and 10 yards to go for the Giants, who trail by 7 points, 10-3. Joe Morrison back in the ball game. Tarkenton gets the snap, goes back to throw, throws over the middle to Freeman White, and man, is he hit. He takes the pass and then is hit by Lonnie Warwick, number 59, and Wally Hilgenberg, number 58, pair of the Viking linebackers. But he gets the ball up close to the 45-yard line. They mark it at the 44. And there it'll be second down and 3 yards to go. Tarkenton going to his tight end, Freeman White.
And that's the first time he's hit someone other than the backs, either Coy or Fredrickson or Fuqua. He got the pass off to Freeman White, his tight end.
Giants are at the line, ready to put it in play again. Homer Jones out to the left this time. Hand off to Tucker Fredrickson. He gets an opening and comes up close to the 50-yard line. Tucker Fredrickson running the ball well. Lonnie Warwick and Roy Winston, along with Carl Kasolke, make the tackle, but it's a first down for the New York Giants as Fredrickson moves the ball from the 44 to the 50-yard line. First and 10 for the Giants. Herman back in the ball game. He's out on the right. Homer Jones is to the left. Homer Jones on the line as the split left end. Tarkenton back to throw. Flare pass intended for Morrison, who's in there at a running back position now. It is incomplete. The pass overthrown by Tarkenton. Summer sun and wind can dry and chap your lips just like winter. That's why you should use Chapstick Lip Balm year-round. Buy Chapstick now in the familiar black and white tube. On the flare pass to the right, to the near sideline. Incomplete. It'll be second down. 10 yards to go. The ball on the 50. Freeman White is the tight end of the right side. Herman is flanked out to the right. Tarkenton back to throw, is being chased, and he throws the ball away. There's a marker on the play.
I think there was holding back in the one of the linemen, offensive linemen for the Giants were holding. I believe it was number 77, Gary Larson. And this is certainly going to hurt because it did take place back in the backfield where Tarkenton was scrambling. Puts the ball back around the 20, 25-yard line.
So it ends up as a 25-yard penalty because the line of scrimmage was the 50-yard line. The down remains second down. But it's now 35 yards to go for a first down. And again, the 5 defensive backs come in. Bryant, Krause, Kasolke, McBee, and Hackford are in there. Gary Larson, the big lineman, has been pulled. Tarkenton back to throw. It is a good time to run. He starts to run. He throws the ball, and again, it's way off the target. Bobby Bryant was the nearest man to it.
Actually, that time, Bill, they had 3 defensive linemen rushing. Marshall, Page, and Eller. And they still managed to chase Tarkenton out of the pocket. He was throwing on the run that time, looking for Freeman White, but again he threw it over his head and out of bounds. So just with 3 men, the Minnesota Vikings are putting a lot of pressure on the Giants. It's a very difficult defense to throw against. They have 4, 5, 6 fellas in the backfield, defensive backfield.
Tarkenton back to throw on 3rd and 35. He looks, he throws, it is no good. Once again, the nearest man to it was a defensive back, Paul Krause. And Paul, in his 6 years in the National Football League, has had quite a few interceptions to his credit, first with the Washington Redskins, and then later with the Minnesota Vikings.
That's a funny situation for the Giants. And Bill, the 2 times that Pete Gogolak has kicked, they've come very close to blocking it. The Giants better be very alert here at the line of scrimmage to block these Minnesota Vikings at the line of scrimmage and prevent a block
punt. Gogolak stands back at about his 11-yard line. Charlie West and Bobby Bryant are the deep men for Minnesota. They don't get too much of a rush, and Gogolak gets a tremendous punt off. It sends Bryant or Charlie West all the way back to his 15-yard line, and they nail him as he gets back to the 19. Gogolak's punt brought Bryant back to the Minnesota 15-yard line. And Bryant was stopped at the 19-yard line as he returned the ball. A great punt by Pete Gogolak. Timeout now. The score, Minnesota 10, New York 3. More Giant football after this word from Valentine.
Well, what a game. The kind of game where you really worked up a Giant thirst. Well, here's the best way to put that thirst on ice, with a frosty bottle or can of Valentine beer, the crisp refresher. If you've got a real thirst or just want to relax, pick up a Valentine, a beer that has 130 years of brewing experience behind it. Crystally clear, smooth, and delicious. Aged just long enough to make it precisely right. And the result? A beer full of purity, body, and flavor. A beer that really satisfies no matter how long you've been building up your thirst. Valentine beer. So next time, listen to the man singing, "Hey, get your cold beer," then make the 3-ring sign and ask the man for a Valentine. Valentine Premium Lager Beer, the crisp refresher. Well, the New York Giants and Pete Gogolak just got off a booming punt. And the ball now on the Minnesota 19-yard line where they'll operate from. 1st and 10 for the Vikings. And Bill, back to you.
A 60-yard punt for Pete Gogolak. And the ball is on the 19-yard line. Minnesota ready to put it in play. 1st down and 10 yards to go. Quazzo hands it off to Osborne. He starts out wide and is nailed after a gain of just a yard. He was slowed down first and then pulled down by Crutcher. Slowed down by Heck.
And that's good reading on Heck's part. When he sees the 2 guards pulling, he has to step up. Being the middle linebacker, he steps up where the guard leaves and gets right in behind. As that ball carrier, Osborne, tries to cut back, he can make the tackle right behind the line of scrimmage. A good play by Heck and a fine play by Crutcher, coming up to stop that run for just about a yard gain.
2nd and 9 for the Vikings at their own 20. Quazzo back to throw. Quazzo fires. It is good to Gene Washington. He's at the 45 to 50, 45 to 40. He's down to the 35 to 30 and stopped at the 30-yard line. Carl Lockhart made the tackle. With 2nd and 9 yards to go at his own 20-yard line, Quazzo hit Gene Washington upfield at about the 45-yard line, and then he ran it down to the Giant 30, where it'll be 1st down and 10 yards to go for the Vikings.
Willie Williams made an attempt to intercept that ball. He stepped in front of the receiver, but got there just a split second too late. The turn-in pattern by Washington, who runs his patterns very, very well.
So the Vikings, who lead by a score of 10-3, are threatening once again. Handoff goes to Osborne. He hits him behind the left side of his line and gets into about the 28, maybe the 27-yard line. Frank Parker, Tommy Crutcher in on the tackle. Ball is spotted at the 28-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 8 yards to go there. Cleveland Browns lead the Philadelphia Eagles by a score of 10-7. The Browns go into the season opener with several injury problems. Gene Washington goes out to the right. Henderson is the flanking back to the left this time, with Quazzo calling the signals. Going back to throw again. He sets up nicely, throws down the middle, and it was almost intercepted, and then is caught by the intended receiver. It was almost intercepted by Henry Davis. It bounced off his hand and was pulled in by the tight end, Kent Kramer. But there's a flag on the play, and it's going to help the Giants because Kramer had the ball down at the 10-yard line.
Fine play by Davis, almost intercepting that ball, but a heads-up play by Kent Kramer, the 3-year man from Minnesota. But the play is nullified. A fine gain and a fine pass by Quazzo was nullified by a holding penalty on the offensive line. Puts the ball back at the 48-yard line. A big play for the Giants.
A big break is right. It is now second down, 28 yards to go. The Vikings have the ball back on the Giant 48. Quazzo calling the signals, goes back to throw. He gets the touch, and then he's throwing a long one, and he is there all alone once again. Gene Washington completely got out and back of Willie Williams.
That was an automatic at the line of scrimmage, Bill. The Giants played it up real tight. They were blitzing. Willie Williams took his man looking for him to go inside. Washington did intend to go inside. Or was it Henderson? It was Washington. Gene Washington did decide to go inside, but Willie Williams was already there, so he took off right down the field. Fine pass by Quazzo. A lot of room, a lot of time to throw the ball. Washington took it over his shoulder and went into the end zone.
Fred Cox trying for the extra point. It's good. The score is Minnesota 17, New York 3. More Giant football in 60 seconds.
For 1970, if you want a dealer that makes it, make the scene at Armory Garage, Central at Cove in Albany. Open house Tuesday, September 23rd and Wednesday, September 24th. See the fantabulous new Chryslers, Plymouths, and Imperials for 1970. Mod enough to please the hippies, modern enough for you. Luxurious 1970 Imperials, LeBarons, Crowns. 1970 New Yorkers, Newports, 300 sports models, big Chryslers, Town and Countries, 1970 Plymouths, Furies, new version of the Roadrunner, the GTX, Belvederes, Satellites, Valiants, and Valiant Dusters, and the completely redesigned Barracuda series. But enough about cars. How about the dealer? Armory Garage has 101 time payment plans. Buy, sign, and pay. One modern stop. See the new ones on September 23rd and September 24th. Armory Garage, Central at Cove in Albany, Route 5, 2 miles east of the Northway. Get with it now for a 1970 wow!
Well, with 8 minutes and 54 seconds remaining in the first half of play, Minnesota, on a touchdown pass from Gary Quazzo to Gene Washington, has gone out in the lead 17-3. Freddie Cox teeing the ball up, set to kick off, and back to Bill.
Washington has pulled in 3 passes for 117 yards. Cox kicking off, and this time he gets it in the air a little better. Fuqua takes it at about the 5-yard line. Comes back to the 20. Fuqua moving straight ahead. Gets to about the 30-yard line.
It's a maneuver, speaking about Willie Williams, it's a maneuver on the Giant defense that time to blitz. It's a tough assignment to cover a man like Gene Washington, man-to-man, with no help inside or outside. You got him isolated all by yourself. And unless the Giants linebackers, when they blitz, unless they get back in there and put a lot of pressure on Quazzo, they're going to have to get off that blitzing maneuver.
17-3, the Giants trail. First and 10 for the Giants on their own 29-yard line. Joe Morrison, the ball carrier, going straight ahead. Goes from the 29 and gets up to about the 34-yard line. A gain of 5 yards on the play. Second down, about 5 yards to go. The handoff this time goes to Tucker Fredrickson. He hits the middle of the Minnesota defense. Gets across the 35 to about the 37-yard line. Met there by Gary Larson, number 77, one of the big front four of the Minnesota Vikings, and that front four might be as good as any in professional football today. Ball on the 37, third down and 2 yards to go for the Giants. They have Tarkenton at quarterback with Fredrickson and Morrison at the running back positions. Don Herman, Homer Jones, the wide receivers. Handoff goes to Fredrickson, and he hits the stone wall. Fredrickson on third down and 2 yards to go. Tried the middle of the Minnesota defense once again, but Larson, Winston, Heller, all there. It apparently is close enough for a measurement. And the The chain gang comes on from the far side of the field. This would be a big first down for the Giants because they need to go about a foot to go. About a foot to go, and Alex Webster, in his first real big decision, rejects the fans' wishes and goes with his own thinking, which is the way it should be. Right?
Well, with 6 minutes and 46 seconds to go, there's still a lot of football in this second quarter, and you just can't do it against that defensive line for the Vikings. If it's fourth and an inch or fourth and 2 inches, I think this is a wise decision by Alex Webster at this stage of the game.
Line of scrimmage is the 38. Charlie West and Bobby Bryant deep as Gogolak prepares to kick. It's a high wobbly kick. Bearcat signal for taken at the 21-yard line in Minnesota territory, and it's Bobby Bryant who made the fair catch. They spot the ball at the 22. And the Vikings will take over 1st and 10 on the fair catch at their 22-yard line. The Vikings have scored on 2 long pass plays, one 47 yards, one 48 yards, and Cox has booted a field goal. That is accounted for their scoring. Gogolak kicked a field goal for the Giants, and that's the way it stands right now, with 6 minutes, 11 seconds left to play in the first half. Minnesota 17, the Giants 3. Minnesota ready to put it in play, 1st and 10 at their 22. Bozo calls the signals. There's a mix-up and there's a flag on the play. The handoff goes to the fullback, Brown. He gets to just about the line of scrimmage, loses possession of the ball. See whether the call is going to be. The play had been blown dead by the whistle, so the fumble doesn't count. But let's see who the penalty is going to be.
I think just before the snap of the ball, there was a motion and offside by the defensive line of the New York Giants, and that's going to be an automatic 5-yard penalty against the Giants.
Bill Brown started off the field. He was hit hard in the last play. He started off the field under his own power and then went to the ground, and it appears to be a leg injury. And now there's timeout on the field. We'll have more Giant football after this special message.
This is Jupiter Control. We have just received word that the astronauts are now driving the vehicle from the space capsule onto the lunar surface.
Jupiter Control, this is Jupiter 4. It's a very good thing this Volkswagen's got an air-cooled engine. There's not a drop of water inside it.
This is Jupiter Control. We've just been told there's an absence of H2O on the lunar surface, and the vehicle is functioning properly under these conditions.
Jupiter Control, say, if we didn't have the engine over the rear wheels, we'd never get through all this green cheese.
We have just received word that the vehicle's forward progress is not being retarded in any way by the Roquefort surface.
I'm glad we don't need antifreeze in this thing. It's as cold as a Texas blizzard up here.
Jupiter 4 has just informed us.
This conversation is being brought to you by Volkswagen, the car of the future.
Minnesota had first down at 5 yards to go at the 27-yard line as a result of an offside penalty on that play in which fullback Bill Brown was hurt. And on the first play, Cuozzo throws to Gene Washington, who is driven out of bounds at the 30-yard line. So it's just a short gain of 3 yards on the play.
And on that timeout by the Vikings, and looking at Bill Brown, I don't think it's his knee. I think he was hit rather hard, and they were giving him just giving him a little fresh air.
Second down and just 2 yards to go. The handoff goes to Osborne. Osborne goes wide to the right, cuts in behind a good block. And he has, I believe, enough for the first down as he gets up to about the 33-yard line. It was Bookie Bolin, a former Giant, who pulled and made the fine block that enabled Osborne to pick up the first down as he gets to the 34-yard line.
And Bookie Bolin, is filling in for Jim Baloney, who they feel he's about ready to have an appendicitis attack, and he's in the hospital right now. If he's not going to have the attack, they say he'll be ready to play football next Sunday. A tough boy.
Jim Lindsay is in there at the running spot in place of Bill Brown. Cuozzo back to throw. It's being jumped by Bob Lurksema with help from Bruce Anderson. Cuozzo back to throw on first down and 10 is dropped for a loss back to about the 26-yard line.
And Bill, on that last play, the Giants went into a zone defense. They don't really see that too much. North Hecker doesn't like to use it that much, but with all his speed and the Giant defensive line not really getting back to Quazzo, he has to go into his own defense. I think this will help the team an awful lot.
Second and about 18 at the 26. Quazzo back to throw, fires. There's a man there, Gene Washington. He pulls it in up near the 40-yard line. Tackled immediately by Scott Eaton. So Quazzo and Washington have been combining to give the Giant defense fits so far this afternoon.
They're very, very tough plays to defend against. The deep hook, the deep turnout, that's taking place around 12, 15 yards. And when you're covering a man like Washington or Henderson, you have to give them a little room when they're down that far on the field. It's a big play now, 3rd and 5 to go for the Vikings. A big play for both ball clubs.
Quazzo back to throw again on 3rd down. He's throwing deep, and it is no good this time. The man was out there once again. Tom Hall, who was in as a wide receiver in place of John Henderson, was out in back of the Giant defenders, Lockhart and Williams, but the pass by Quazzo was overthrown.
I think that time they tried to help Willie Williams out. They had a double team on, but as you're double teaming a man like Hall, as he comes down the field, Bill, you're going to have to slow him down, knock him down a little bit, throw him off his gait so he doesn't get free quickly. And that time Spider just got over in the nick of time.
Bob Lee back to punt for the Vikings. It's a low kick. Almost hit one of the Giants on the back as he went downfield to start blocking. And it'll be taken by the New York Giants on their own 33-yard line. It was a low kick and still didn't roll very far. So the Giants take over 1st and 10 on their own 33. The clock shows 3 minutes and 40 seconds left to play in the first half, and the Giants would like to get a touchdown on that scoreboard before going to the dressing room at halftime. They trail by a score of 17-3. Brenner is out to the right. Homer Jones to the left on the far side. Tarkenton calling the signals. Fakes to Fredrickson, throws long, intended for Jones, and he pulls it in. A fine catch by Homer Jones because the defender, Bobby Bryant, was with him every step of the way. Tarkenton first fakes to Tucker Fredrickson, and then threw deep to Homer Jones, who then was driven out of bounds at the Minnesota 27-yard line.
The pass was a perfect pass, and the timing just excellent. Tarkenton, that fake to Tucker Fredrickson, holds that defensive line just a split second, and that's what he needed to release that ball. A perfect pass over the shoulder catch by Homer Jones. I bet he's real happy with that one.
1st and 10 on the 27. Tarkenton calls the signals. The rush is on this time, but he gets the pass away, and it is no good. It was intended for Don Herman. Defending on the play was Ersel McVie, 5-year veteran from Utah State.
And in order for that particular play to work, that's the sprint out pattern by Tarkenton. He has to get around the defensive end. That time Steve Wright couldn't bring down Carlella quick enough. Tarkenton started to run, stopped, and he had to release the ball to the near side of the field. That's actually an option pass. Tarkenton can take it and run it if he gets outside the defensive end, or he can throw the ball.
2nd and 10 as the Giants move up to the line. Larson over the ball at center. Once again, it is Herman to the right. He is the back, the flanking back. Homer Jones on the line is the split left end. Freeman White is the tight end on the right side. Tarkenton back to throw, but the rush is on, and it's batted down in the backfield. Alan Page used his 6'4" plus the stretch to bat it down. So now it's going to be 3rd down. 10 yards to go. 3:06 showing on the clock. Minnesota in front by a score of 17-3 over the New York Giants. Atlanta leading the San Francisco 49ers by a score of 10-5 in the second quarter. The only other game underway, or the only score posted, Cleveland 10, Philadelphia 7. 3rd and 10 as the Giants are at the line. Tarkenton back. He throws again, this time to the outside, intended for Herman. Herman makes the catch, but it is ruled incomplete. He caught it out of bounds.
So now it is fourth down coming up. And Pete Gogolak is coming into the football game to try for another field goal. Tarkington has completed 6 for 14 for a total of 58 yards, most of which came on that long one to Homer Jones just a moment ago. That was 40 yards in that one. Van Tarkenton will spot the ball at the 35-yard line as Gogolak tries for his second field goal of the afternoon. 34-yard line, actually. The boot is up there. It is no good. It is off to the left. The score, Minnesota 17, the Giants 3. More Giant football after this word from time.
Hey, get your cold beer. Hey, get your Valentine. Hey, get your cold, cold beer. Get your ice cold Valentine beer. To be crisp, our beer must be icily light. Smooth and delicious, precisely right. Lively golden, crystally clear. The crisp refresher. Valentine, Valentine beer. The crisp refresher. Valentine, Valentine beer.
Make the 3-ring sign and ask the man for Ballantine Premium Lager Beer.
On the first down following the missed field goal, Jim Lindsay tried to get out wide to his left, but he was nailed by Bob Lertzema and Fred Dreyer. And back of the line of scrimmage at the 17. Minnesota's second down now, 13 to go. Quazzo on the draw play. Gives once again to Lindsay. And Lindsay comes across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Gain of about 4 yards on the play. It'll be third down coming up and 9 yards to go. Tommy Crutcher, 6-year veteran, that linebacker, made the stop. And now we have just 2 minutes. 2 minutes remaining to be played in the first half of this football game. The Giants broke on top 3-0 when they took advantage of an interception by Crutcher to go in as far as the field goal. Minnesota tied it up. That's the way it stood at the end of the first quarter, 3-3. But in the second quarter, the Vikings scored a pair of touchdowns on long touchdown passes.
And right now, Bill, with 2 minutes to go, third down and 9 is the situation for the Minnesota Vikings. The Giants, and the ball at the 21-yard line, the Giants really have to stop the Vikings here to get another crack at scoring. They'll have to watch out for that deep turn-in. It's been pretty effective. These boys have the ability to go downfield and turn in. Quazzo has the time to throw the ball. I'm sure the Giant defensive ball players, though, are going to be stopping them at the line of scrimmage, trying to break up their rhythm and stop that 9-10-yard pickup. That's the assignment right now.
The Los Angeles Rams have taken a 3-0 lead over the Baltimore Colts in that game at Baltimore. The co-favorites in the Coastal Division meeting head-on in the season opener today. Cleveland has now taken a 13-7 lead over the Philadelphia Eagles. Atlanta in front of San Francisco 10-5. Third down and 9 yards to go for the Vikings in this one. Quazzo back to throw. He gets protection, throws over the middle. It is almost intercepted. Off the hands of Tom Hall. And it was almost intercepted by Spider Lockhart.
Once again, they had him double covered, and they did that 9-10, about a 12-yard turn-in. It's been pretty effective for them all in this second quarter. But that time, Spider was waiting for it and almost picked it off, as you said, Bill. Now it's fourth down, and the Giants have another opportunity to bring the ball back in good field position and possibly get on the scoreboard and get back into this football game.
Bob Lee stands back at his own 6-yard line, comes forward to about the 12 to do the kicking. It's a high kick, not too far. Lockhart signals for a fair catch and takes it right on the end of his fingertips at the 49-yard line in Giant territory. Dick, I was going to say, in the first half of this football game, I've seen more passes go off the hands of defenders or receivers, which should have been completed passes or interceptions.
And that particular facet of the ball game has ruined many a coach's dream when he thought he was going to win, and they certainly have to learn to hold on to the ball.
1:39 left, Tarkenton back to throw. 1st and 10, he throws the pass. As he's being chased, it's incomplete. The pressure was being put on by Eller. Actually, Eller had him by the jersey when he threw the ball.
And a heads-up play by Roy Winston. That time his assignment was to watch Joey Morrison. As Joey faked the block and started to go down into the flat zone, out into the near side of the field here, Roy Winston was right with him. Joey finally cut over to the middle of the field. But by that time, Tarkenton had thrown the ball away.
1:34 left, 2nd and 10 at their own 49. 5 defensive backs once again. 3-man rush by the Vikings. The flare pass to Tucker Fredrickson out to the left, and he gets short yardage. He crosses the 50, gets to about the Viking 47. Lonnie Warwick, the middle linebacker for the Vikings. Actually, you can't call him a middle linebacker at this particular point because they have only 2 linebackers in there, with Bobby Bryant, Paul Krause, Carl Kosolke, Irsal McD, and Dale Hackbart in the defensive backfield. Clock now shows 1 minute and 26 seconds left to play in the first half. It'll be 3rd down, 5 yards to go. The ball is on the Minnesota 46-yard line, with the Giants trailing the Vikings by a score of 17-3. The Giants have 2 timeouts remaining. Tarkenton came over to the sidelines during this one to talk to Alex Webster, making his debut here today as an NFL head coach.
Tarkenton now has a very critical situation for the Giants with 1 minute and 26 seconds to go on the clock. Plenty of time to get into the end zone, but they're running out of downs right now. It's 3rd down and 5 to go. I don't know what he's going to call, but he has 2 great guys in that backfield who can catch the ball and run with it, and that's Tucker Fredrickson and Joey Morrison.
3rd and 5. Herman is out to the left. He's the split left end. Homer Jones is to the right. Tarkenton being rushed. He throws the ball. It is good to Freeman White. He's at the 45, but that's as far as he gets. In maybe to the 43. It was again another desperation throw on the part of Fran Tarkenton, as number 81, Carl Eller, had him to the jersey and had him going to the ground when he released the ball. They spot the ball at the 43-yard line. Clock continues to run, and we have less than a minute to play now. And it is going to be 4th down and 1 yard to go. Ball on the Minnesota 43. They'll try for the first down and then call for the timeout. Hand off to Morrison. Morrison starts out wide to the left, and he fought for the first down, and he got it. He was hit at or behind the line of scrimmage, but the old veteran, Joe Morrison, kept battling. Now they moved the ball back a little, so I won't say that he has.
Great effort, though, by Joey Morrison, Bill. You're right. He was caught behind the line of scrimmage. He kept turning those legs, twisting and fighting to get to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be very close for a first down. Tarkenton evidently feels that he does have it. He has his boys in the backfield. You were right.
On the 41, first down and 10 yards to go, but much important right now, 40 seconds left to play. The Giants still have 2 timeouts. Tarkenton back to throw against the 3-man rush again, and he is going to be grabbed and brought down by Eller. And Eller has been doing a tremendous job. Eller just ran over his blocker.
Well, he is very, very difficult on the passing situation like this. He's got real good size. He's 6'6" and goes about 260 pounds. Very, very fast and very, very strong. That time Steve Wright had the assignment to hold him out of the backfield, and he went right around on a very, very fast sweep outside. Tarkenton that time saw his uniform and started running, but Ella had the speed on him that time and caught him behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of about 10 yards.
They lost 10 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 20 when play is back in. The Giants won't have chapped lips this year, and neither will the Vikings, because there is a supply of chapstick lip balm in their locker rooms. Get chapstick yourself, and don't take your lips anywhere without it. 28 seconds now showing, with Minnesota leading by a score of 17-3. After this timeout, the Giants have one remaining, but they have just 28 seconds now in which to go 51 yards.
And Tarkenton is trying to spring Joey Morrison or Tucker Fredrickson from the line of scrimmage, circling the two backs, trying to hit him. But the linebackers for the Vikings are meeting these two particular backs at the line of scrimmage and not letting them get past it.
Tarkenton calls the signals. He has Herman out to the right. Tarkenton running out to his right this time. Throws way back to the left. A screen to Fredrickson. 50, 45, 40. And Fredrickson gets to the 35-yard line. And that tackle was made by Carl Koselke. And now there's a timeout. The play took 18 seconds. The ball is on the Minnesota 35-yard line. Tarkenton took the snap from center, immediately started to run out to the right, then turned and threw about 35 yards back to the far side of the field, the left side. And Fredrickson was there with a screen in front of him and got moving, but Koselke made a saving tackle.
And that play is reminiscent of old times. That's an Alex Webster special. He used to do that an awful lot with Y.A. Tittle. He used to block the end as he came in, fall down, and then sneak out into the far side of the field all by himself and then move down. He used to catch the ball and move down pretty quick. That time, Tucker Fredrickson did the same exact thing as Alex used to do. Take the block real good, got up, was all by himself in the flat zone, Tarkenton hit him. After bringing the defense to the near side of the field, Tucker was all by himself and moved upfield for good yardage. It's 3rd down and 5 to go. They're on the Vikings 35-yard line, but in good field position for a field goal. However, you know it, Bill, there's no more timeouts left, and they have to get out of bounds on this next play.
18 seconds with no timeouts remaining. 3rd down and 5 yards to go on the Minnesota 35. Tarkenton loses the snap from center, and the Vikings recover. Gary Larson covers the ball at the 37-yard line.
I got to feel a little sorry for Fran Tarkenton. He wants to do so well for Alex Webster. He wants to do so well for the Giants, and he wants to do so well against this Minnesota Vikings team who he used to play with. He's just not having a finer day as he's had in the past, and he's trying awful hard. But that's quite disheartening to fumble at the line of scrimmage when the Giants were in pretty good scoring position.
The Vikings huddle back inside their 30-yard line. And now move up to the line. So let's see what Cuozzo can do with 13 seconds. Vikings have one timeout remaining. Cuozzo throws. It is no good. It was almost intercepted by Willie Williams. It was intended for Tom Hall. Now with 8 seconds remaining. Cuozzo throwing, and again the nearest man to it was Willie Williams. And again it was intended for Tom Hall. Something went wrong on that pass play as Hall was cutting toward the inside, and Cuozzo's pass went to the outside just along the sideline in front of the New York bench. Now the clock shows 4 seconds remaining in the first half. Hall is the split left end. Cuozzo gives on a draw play to Lindsey, and Lindsey hits the middle, carries up to about the 46-yard line before he's pulled down. But that's the end of the first half, and the score is Minnesota 17, the New York Giants 3. We pause 70 seconds for station identification. This is the New York Giants Radio Network.
Your American Motors dealer presents his end-of-the-season Travelin' Rambler or Rebel during
Amex?
During our trade wind sale. I think you blew the commercial.
I didn't know that.
Oh, you.
Yes, and the trade winds are blowing up a storm of great year-end deals here in northeastern New York. See your American Motors dealer tomorrow. He'll show you what a really great year-end deal can be. See him tomorrow.
This is WGY, Radio 81, Schenectady, New York.
We're set to go with the second half kickoff. Freddie Cox will kick for the Vikings. And here once again is our play-by-play man, Bill McColgan.
In a 17-3 football game with the Vikings leading, Fred Cox gets the ball from referee Jim Tunney and is preparing to set it up on the 40-yard line. John Fuqua is deep, standing at the 1-yard line down in Giant territory. Al Brenner and Jim Holofield are upfield at about the 10. It is Brenner on the far side, Holofield, or Brenner on the near side, Holofield on the far side. Cox kicks low. Fuqua takes the line drive at the 8-yard line. He's to the 20, 25 along the sidelines, gets across the 30-yard line to about the 32. Cox has not been getting the ball up in the air on the kickoffs. That was a liner. Taken at the giant 8-yard line by Fuqua.
And they're quite difficult, Bill, to try to bring into your pocket and hold on. I mean, they're very, very tough to grab and hold and start running with. Kicks like that usually bounce off the pads or bounce on the ground, and it may be a new maneuver.
Tarkinen fakes a running play, throws to the outside to Herman. He hauls it in at the 36 or the 37-yard line. And if the Giants are to get back in this football game, now is as good a time as any to start. They gain 5 yards on the play, going from the 31 to the 35. 2nd and 5 as they move to the line. Homer Jones is on the line as the split left end this time. Herman out to the right. Handoff goes to Tucker Fredrickson. He gains nothing. Tucker Fredrickson going in off his left tackle. There was no hole there. He tried to bounce to the outside. Tackle made by Jim Marshall. Your lips do a lot of nice things for you. What have you done for them lately? Buy Chopstick Lip Balm and use it to protect and soften your lips. Don't take your lips anywhere without it. So here's the passing situation again, and Roy Winston, linebacker, goes out of the ball game. Dale Hackford comes in as Minnesota goes to the 5 defensive backs again. 3rd down and 5 yards to go. Tarkinen back. He is being rushed. The pass goes to the outside to Fredrickson. He gets away from one man and has the first down. Man, they had a rush against Tarkinen, and he got rid of it quickly. A flare pass to the left to Tucker Fredrickson. Fredrickson got away from a couple of tacklers. Finally was pulled down by Gary Larson. But not until he got to the 42-yard line.
Well, that's about all he has time to set up for. It seems that this defensive line we heard so much about it probably is now the best defensive line in professional football. That's about all the time Tarkinen has to set up. He has to get rid of that ball quick, and the linebackers are letting the backs catch the ball, but they're coming up quick to make the tackle.
1st and 10 at the 42. Tarkenton throwing out to the outside, intended for Homer Jones. Paul Krause was defending on the play, but Tarkenton's pass was off the target. Excuse me,
that
Nick.
time, Bill, they had Homer Jones double covered. Krause is the safety man, usually goes deep on the zone. That time, he slid up to the short side and almost picked that ball off against Tarkenton. The deep man that time, the defensive back for the Vikings was Earl McPhee. He went back deep. Krause went up to cover the short side of the field.
Herman is the flanking back to the right. Homer Jones is just a couple of steps outside the left tackle this time. Second down and 10 yards to go on the 42. The handoff goes to Tucker Fredrickson. He finds an opening, comes over the 45, and picks up about 4 or 5 yards. Once again, Gary Larson. And that is a tremendous front four. Jim Marshall, 10-year veteran from Ohio State, 248 pounds. Alan Page, 3-year man from Notre Dame, 245 pounds. Gary Larson, 6 years from Concordia, 260 pounds. Carl Eller, 6-year veteran, 255 pounds from Minnesota. The ball is on the 46-yard line. Fredrickson picked up 4. It is third down and 6 yards to go. 3rd and 6. Tarkinen back to throw. Throws to Homer Jones. He has the ball. He got away from a man, but now he's pulled down. Oh, he gets away from him, and he goes for a touchdown. The last man to have him, and he had him swinging him around, and he was on his way to the ground, and I jumped the gun and said he was pulled down, but he got away from Bobby Bryant. Was another man that had him about 10 yards ahead of that. I believe it was Carl Kosalski. Just as he caught the pass, he got away from him, then got away from Bryant about 10 more yards downfield and went in for the touchdown.
Big and strong, Bill. That's the word on Homer Jones, and very fast. And he did. Bryant had a clean shot at him and actually tried to bring him down to the ground, but Homer refused to go down. He knew it was necessary to get into that end zone, and he did it all on strength. And Gogolak comes through the extra point. The score now is Minnesota 17, New York 10. More Giant football in 60 seconds.
And now the winning sound of Sidell Kern, another winner in this year's Schaefer Talent Hunt.
Schaefer is the one bit I have when you're having more than one. Schaefer pleasure doesn't fade even when your thirst is done. The most rewarding flavor in this man's world for people who are having fun. Schaefer is the one bit you have when you're having more than one.
So we have a brand new ball game as Homer Jones on a tremendous play, tremendous effort, getting away from 2 tacklers. The play covering 54 yards, and Gogolak kicks off with Bill Harris and Clinton Jones deep. Gogolak puts it into the end zone. Jones fumbles it in there and now decides to stay in with it. So the Vikings will put it in play 1st and 10 of their own 20-yard line.
That's the best way I know how to hold back Clinton Jones, is kick it out of the end zone. That time, though, if he had his hands on the ball and controlled it, I think he would have taken it out of the end zone. He wanted to run, and he's got the ability to move up that field. At that time, he fumbled the ball, but kept it in the end zone. A wise decision.
Vikings ball, 1st down and 10 yards to go. Quazzo calls. Quazzo fakes a running play, throws to the outside to Bill Brown, the fullback. He's across the 25, knocked out of bounds. Over here to knock him out of bounds was Bruce Moore with help from Henry Davis.
Now, they might start to pick on Henry Davis, realizing that he's new at the position, that outside linebacker. That time, as the play is formed, it looks like a sweep. Davis has to come up and meet the fullback at the line of scrimmage and knock him down. He slid off Henry Davis that time, rounded, and out in the flat zone all by himself to catch the pass. He picked up 5 yards.
Ball is spotted at the 25-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 5 yards to go. Quazzo gives to Osborne. He goes wide to the left, is being chased, and he's knocked out of bounds. Willie Williams and Tommy Crutcher with a pursuit man. Crutcher was the first man to put pressure on the ball carrier, Osborne, and finally Willie Williams used his speed to bounce him out of bounds.
And you give a lot of credit to this Fred Dreyer, the first-year man from San Diego State. He's 6'6", 240 pounds, still has a few pounds to put on. But he stepped behind the line of scrimmage, prevented Osborne from coming around. He had to go deep, and they lost yardage on that play. A good play there by Fred Dreyer, although he wasn't in on the tackle. He was the one that caused that commotion.
Ball is back on the 20-yard line, a loss of 5. It is third down and 10 yards to go. Quazzo back to throw. Quazzo throws down the middle. It is no good, but a flag is down on the play. Bruce Moore was the man who broke up the play. The pass was intended for Jim Lindsay. And interference called, and that's a tough break. It was third down and 10. If they were able to break up the play legally, they would have had the Vikings in a punting position.
Well, they had a lot of ball players right in that area. Both the tight end and the flanker back came across the middle of the field. And Brucey Moore tried to break it up, but they said he pushed, and he's making some gestures at the official right now. He didn't like it. And that's the way I would react to the same play.
Ball on the 32, first down as a result of the interference. Quazzo calls the signals for the Minnesota Vikings. Handoff goes to number 30, Bill Brown, the fullback. He finds running room, and he battles tacklers as he comes upfield to the 43-yard line. Bruce Moore making the stop along with Tommy Crutcher. Brown running tremendously hard. After being shaken up in the first half, he comes back strong here in the third quarter. The ball is on the 44-yard line. He gained 12 yards on the play. Vikings have first and 10 at their own 44. Quazzo back to throw on first down. Throws. It is good across the way on the far sideline. Gene Washington once again going high in the air to pull it in. Willie Williams makes the tackle. The ball is in Giant territory now at the 46-yard line, and it's close for a first down. The score, Minnesota 17, New York 10. More Giant football after this word from Valentine.
Hey, get your cold beer. Hey, get your ice-cold Valentine beer. To be crisp, a beer must be icily light. Smooth and delicious, precisely right. Lively golden, crystally clear. The crisp, refreshing Valentine beer.
Make the three-ring sign and ask the man for Valentine Premium Lager Beer.
Second down, less than a yard to go. The ball goes to Osborne, and Osborne moves the ball up to the 45-yard line, or down to the 45-yard line in Giant territory, and that's enough for the first down. So the Vikings have now driven from their own 20 to the Giant 45, where they have first down and 10 yards to go. Osborne has done some fine running for Minnesota so far in this ball game. Quazzo calling the signals. Has Henderson out to the right. He throws to Bill Brown, the fullback. Brown gets down to the 35. He's down to the 20. Knocked out of bounds. He lost possession of the ball, but it'll be Minnesota's ball inside the 20-yard line.
And again, Bill, it's just a case of Bill Brown, that very versatile and strong and prolific running back for the Vikings, outrunning Henry Davis, that linebacker. And it's a tough position for Henry. He doesn't know whether to come up there and stop that run or stay back and get a hold of Bill Brown. They're just picking him apart a little bit right here in this game, right here at this stage of the game. He's got to knock him down at the line of scrimmage and make sure.
First down and 10 yards to go for the Vikings on the Giant 18-yard line. Washington to the right this time. The handoff goes to Osborne. Osborne moving in behind his left guard and left tackle, gets down to the 15, maybe the 14-yard line. Tommy Crutcher makes the tackle.
All my men wear English leather, or they wear nothing at all. English leather, aftershave, cologne, and gift sets.
Ball on the 14-yard line, 2nd down and 6 yards to go for the Vikings. Washington to the right, Henderson to the left this time. Giant defense trying to dig in. The handoff goes to Osborne, and he fights for whatever yardage he gets because he was hit at just the line of scrimmage. Ralph Heck, middle linebacker for the Giants, making the stop. But Osborne got in to the 12-yard line, picking up 2 more yards on the play. And it's now 3rd down at about 4 yards to go.
And here's a chance for Gary Quazzo to actually take a gamble. It's 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. They're in front of the Giant goal line. They can kick the field goal for a short 3 points. So you might just see him fake the run and go to the pass and try to get the score.
Quazzo calling the signals on 3rd and 4. It goes to Osborne on the running play, and he's inside the 10-yard line and then pushed back to the outside the 10 to about the 11. But they give him the farthest point of advantage, and they spot the ball at the 8-yard line, and it's going to be awfully close to a 1st down. May call for measurement. We are going to have a measurement. Lertzema and Marr combined to make the tackle on the play, and the Giant defense not too happy because they thought that Osborne was still fighting for yardage and that they had a right to throw him back. It is short of the 1st down. It is short of the 1st down, and one of the Minnesota players, number 67, started to signal over to the Giant bench as to how short it was, as if he was going to get some help from over here, Dick.
Well, he really didn't need it. Actually, Bud Grant is sending in a play. In a case like this, they have 2 strong running backs, both Bill Brown and Dave Osborne. They're running well. This is a big play for the Vikings.
And the Giants have put some more beef in there. Joe Checco and Tim McCann go on the line in an attempt to stop a running play. So let's see what it's going to be. 4th down and just about a yard to go. A handoff goes, and let's see, there's a battle for the yardage. The Giants are saying they have it, of course. Osborne was the ball carrier. Let us see. It is going to be close. It is stretched out, and it is a 1st down. It's a 1st down. It's about on the 7.5-yard line. 1st and goal to go for the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, fine effort that time by that defensive line. They've been fairly successful in the preseason games with putting up that 8-man line. They've stopped the Jets quite a few times at the game out in New Haven, and also they stopped the Philadelphia Eagles quite a few times with the 8-man line. But that time they just came an inch too far.
Both ends are tight this time. Handoff going once again to Osborne, and he has been a hard worker. He has carried on now on the last 5 plays and 6 of the last 7.
And he carried 8 times in the first half. He was their main runner in the first half, and already in the second half he's carried 5 times. He's having a pretty fair day today.
He's carrying in tough yardage situations too, and you get down deep. 1, 3, 2, 3, 1, 1. His last carries. 2nd down and goal to go from about the 7. Brown tries to go out to the right. He gets away from one tackler and then is driven out of bounds. First man to hit him was Scott Eaton, but Brown had the strength to break away from him. Then Tom Longo and Ralph Heck combined to drop him out of bounds back at the 8-yard line. Gene Washington comes back into the football game. Quazzo back to throw. Quazzo throws. It is complete, but not for any gain. The completion went to Osborne, but Brenner was right on his back and dropped him back at the 9-yard line. So now they're going to go for the field goal.
And the field goal kicking team from Minnesota will come on. The Giants, having stopped the touchdown, a little more difficult will be stopping the field goal because for Fred Cox, one of the fine kickers in the NFL, this is about a half a 9-iron.
And it is good. Minnesota now leads 20-10 over New York, and we'll be back with the Vikings kickoff. Oh, it's a boomer. Yuqua deep into the end zone and no run back.
And the Washington Redskins have exploded. Maybe Lombardi exploded when they got behind 10-0 to New Orleans, but Sonny Jurgensen has hit Charlie Taylor on the 10-yard touchdown pass, and he also hit Jerry Smith on a 12-yard touchdown pass. Washington 14, New Orleans 10.
First and 10, New York at their own 20. Herman, 85, comes out wide to the left. Ernie Coy and Tucker Fredrickson, the running backs. It's Ernie Coy. And Carl Eller hits him first. Winston. At about the 24. Second down and 6. Well, next Sunday afternoon, CBS will again televise 8 National Football League games regionally. For the games and times in your area, check your local program listings. Atlanta at Los Angeles, Baltimore, Minnesota, Chicago at St. Louis, Dallas at New Orleans, New York at Detroit, Pittsburgh at Philadelphia, San Francisco at Green Bay, and Washington at Cleveland. Second down and 4. And there's Herman out of bounds at about the 28. Make it third down and 2.
What a difficult call 3rd and 2 is against Minnesota. With that strong front 4. Almost necessitates the pass. Although it's right in that area, that gray area between must pass and can run.
Fredrickson. Alan Page grabbed him. He managed to slip a little bit out of his grasp, but there was a nice hole there had Page not held him. Let's see what they do, where they put it. It is short of the first down.
Well, that's that little gray area again. He just came up a little gray short. 4th and about a foot. Again, the emotional fans here at the stadium would like to see the Giants go for it. However, trailing by 10 points, Webster, head coach Alex Webster, decides he'll use Pete Gogolat's talented toe.
Bryan and West are deep for Minnesota. That's West at the 35, and good coverage by New York puts him down at the 36. Al Brenner, number 48, and Butch Wilson, number 86 on the stop. So Minnesota now leading 20-10 with 4 minutes left in the third period. Have it first down and 10 at the 37-yard line.
First and 10 on the 37.
Osborne, nowhere. Lertzema sits on him, number 71. With a little help from his friends, number 72, Frank Parker.
260 pounds worth of help. The Atlanta Falcons, who have never won a game in their Coastal Division, are out in front of the San Francisco 49ers, 24-5. They're playing in the 4th quarter. Gibson has scored for Atlanta on a 9-yard touchdown run.
Bozzo going for Henderson. He's got it. And Crutcher finally puts him down. He beat Willie Williams at the 46-yard line. It'll be third down and about a yard, less than a yard for the first down.
See the official trying to clear the Giant defensive team out so he can get a line of sight to the measuring stick which is in front of the Giants bench. It's considerably short and will not require a measurement.
Bookie Bolin injured on the play. Ed White, number 62, the great-looking rookie, has replaced him in the offensive line for Minnesota. Beasley, number 87, comes in, and Gene Washington goes out.
Bookie Bolin, of course, for many years, a New York Giant. Was traded 2 years ago.
Third down and 1. Brown. Well, he does not make it here. Scott Eaton right in there to grab him around the head. And it is 4th down for Minnesota.
And Frank Parker right there, too, along with Bruce Anderson to stack that up. But Scott Eaton stepping across from his cornerback spot. You see Doug Davis, top of the screen, limping off. He was the offensive blocker right in the middle of that action. And the last 2 plays, the Vikings have apparently lost a couple of starters in their offensive line. Doug Davis, 71, and Bookie Bolin, 66, both shaken up.
Carl Lockhart, 43. Al Brenner, 48. Deep for New York as Bob Lee, number 19, punts. Beautiful, high, spiraling punt that they're going to let go. And it takes the right bounce into the end zone.
Carl Lockhart very wisely threw a block on the first man down under that punt to allow it to get into the end zone. Of course, if an offensive man can stop the ball from going into the end zone, it is dead there.
With the score, Minnesota 20 and New York 10. Let's pause for a moment.
An untuned car is rain down your neck.
Seconds left in the third period from Yankee Stadium. Minnesota 20, New York 10. The Giants 1st and 10 now at their own 20-yard line. Ernie Coy, Tucker Fredericks in the backs. Loose football forced there by Minnesota and covered by the Vikings at the 20-yard line. Vikings ball.
And again, the fans indicating they thought that was an attempted pass. We'll try and take another look at it. You can see we're having a little difficulty. But it did appear as if Fran was hit just before he released the ball, which would be the fumble. Minnesota was ruled that way. Minnesota will take over 1st and 10 on New York's 20.5-yard line. There it was.
On the 21.
Osborne. Somewhere in the neighborhood of the 15-yard line.
Well carried by Osborne.
Make it 2nd down and 5.
And Wiltshire made the tackle. 2nd and 5.
So the Giant defense back in the pressure area now. Brown. And Lockhart cuts him down inside the 10.
By Brown. Tackled.
Where it'll be a 1st and goal to go for the Vikings.
Bill Brown and Dave Osborne are quite a running combination. That time on the left side of the line, blocking for Bill Brown, the Grady Alderman found the Giants' defensive right end and defensive right tackle Lertzema and Dreyer slanting inside. He merely took Dreyer inside. Big hole for Brown.
Osborne. And Ralph Heck, number 55. Bruce Anderson, 79. And Henry Davis, 66. Make the stop.
Anderson on the tackle.
Well, that's the end of the third quarter with the score. Minnesota 20, New York 10. We now pause for station identification.
San Francisco opens its Golden Gate to Doris Day, who begins a new job and a new season on a new night tomorrow on CBS.
Yeah, now we go with the wind.
Yard marker's better there. All right, then. 6.
2nd and 6.
Beginning of the 4th period here at Yankee Stadium. Minnesota 20, New York 10. Minnesota's ball, 2nd and goal at the New York 6-yard line. Giants have put in their goal line defense. Henderson, one wide man to the right. And Bill Brown cannot hold on to it. Covered there by Ralph Heck, but it's touchdown if he had clutched the ball.
Well, Bill Brown, who's a great receiver, as you pointed out earlier, I know was very disappointed with that one. Just a simple case of taking your eyes off the ball before you actually caught it. Beautifully thrown by Fazo after the fake to Osborne had held Heck for just a moment. They used to have a coaching point, Jim Lee Howell did. He said, be sure you can read the lettering on the football before you take your eyes off it.
3rd down. Osborne. And he gets to about the 2-yard line. So it'll be 4th down. And Fred Cox comes trotting on the field.
Pretty good strategy on the part of Bud Grant. He's having difficulty moving the ball in close against the Giants, so he will go for the field goal again, which would require 2 Giant touchdowns to defeat the Vikings. This easy field goal will make it 23-10.
And it's good, and that's what it is. Minnesota now leads 23-10. And we'll be back with the Vikings kickoff in just a moment.
The Goodyear Custom Wide Tread Polyglass Tire.
I got 50,000 miles on these Goodyear Polyglass tires, which I traded in for new ones.
The mileage, 41,000 miles, proves a lot.
On 4 tires, Goodyear Polyglass tires, I got 43,000 miles.
Well, I've got 47,000 miles on this tire, and I think it's the greatest tire I've ever had.
I've got 38,000 miles on the tire right now, and it looks like it'll go for 50,000 or better.
It just runs and runs and runs and runs.
Oh, I got about 35,000 miles on these polyglass tires.
This tire just seemed to me like it's just going to keep going and going and going.
And when I get 42,000 miles on a set of tires, that's fabulous.
I just say mileage, mileage, mileage. If you want it, buy this tire.
If it doesn't say Goodyear, it can't be Polyglass.
Back at Yankee Stadium, 14 minutes, 9 seconds left in this game. Minnesota 23, New York 10. Cox to kick off. Fuqua and Hollifield are deep. Short kick this time. Brenner takes it at the 10. Al Brenner, number 48, and disappears at about the 31-yard line.
Baltimore has gone out in front of Los Angeles 17-10. Johnny Unitas throwing his 2nd touchdown pass. This to Jimmy Orr, 41 yards and a touchdown. Pittsburgh leads Detroit 16-13. They're in the 4th period. L.A. and Baltimore in the third period, and Cleveland is leading Philadelphia 27-13 in the fourth period.
Fredrickson and Coy the backs. Jones and Herman the wide receivers. And throwing on the dead run for Homer Jones, it is incomplete.
Well, and I think Fran Tarkenton must feel like brother-in-laws with Carl Eller. They've been side by side all afternoon.
Second down and 10. At the 34, Tarkenton hits Ernie Coy, who in turn is hit by Hilgenberg, number 58, the right side linebacker.
And as we come up to the passing situation, 3rd and 7, it'll be a good camera angle for you to watch number 81, Carl Eller, the defensive left end for Minnesota, in his battle against Steve Wright, as a pretty obvious passing situation is with us.
Trying to get Fredrickson. Incomplete. And New York will give up the football.
Well, you saw him. Number 81, that's why he's all pro. He's a little bit of every place. He has that perfect combination of strength and agility. The strength to overpower the blocker and the agility to run down the quarterback.
The deep receivers here for the Minnesota Vikings, Bryant and West. Gogolak to do the punting. End over end. West at the 30. Open field. Still going. A flag is down, and West finally goes down at the Giant 45-yard line. Hit there by Al Brenner. Flag is down at midfield.
It almost have to be a clipping call in that general area, the wide open field, against Minnesota, as West just about broke it.
Puts it back at their own 34, 1st and 10, 12 minutes, 34 seconds left in the game. 23-10 Minnesota. Washington to the left. Henderson to the right. And going deep for Washington, Willie Williams, and can't hold on. At the Giant 25.
You see Williams at Carl Lockhart coming over for the double coverage. Again, Willie Williams looking right back into that sun that shoots out into right field over the third deck of the stadium. Very difficult for a receiver as well as a defender to even find the football.
Second down and 10 now for Minnesota. Tom Hall has replaced Gene Washington. There goes Brown to about the 35, 36-yard line. Third down and about 7.
Gary Quazzo doing a fine job of mixing up not only his receivers, but his offense in general. That time with Brown coming on the draw play. That keeps the defensive front four very honest in their pass rush. And now the passing down is with Gary Quazzo.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us, NFL Control, Carl.
All right, bye-bye.
And our congratulations to you, too, Spider. Good job well done. We've got a couple of late scores, Frank.
L.A. 27, Baltimore 20. Michaels kicked a 41-yarder. An update on the Washington. It looks like the Redskins are perhaps out of the woods. It's 21-13.
That'll make Vinny happy, won't it?
Yeah, I'd hope to tell you. And they came back doing it. Next week, of course, the Colts and the Vikings, the Giants and the Lions. It's going to be a tough one.
Well, the Giants
they're
off and running. If they keep that momentum going, it's going to be kind of interesting. In fact, it's going to be interesting all over. You mentioned that Central Division. Well, the Century, the Capital, and the Coastal, they all look like wild ones this year.
And it's going to be just a great weekend. The Bears, Cardinals, 49ers, Packers, and Milwaukee, and the Falcons, Rams, Redskins, Browns, Steelers, Eagles, and the Cowboys and the Saints. Frank, it's a real pleasure. Happy to see that things turned out a great ball game here. The Giants a winner. And that's our Pro Football Report for this afternoon. For Frank Gifford and Jack Whitaker, Bruce Roberts saying goodbye from Yankee Stadium in New York.
Change is in the wind. For 1970, we asked the wind to design a car. Torino, 1970. Wider. Longer. Lower. Torino, 1970. Molded into a sweeping new aerodynamic shape. This year, go with the wind. Torino, 1970. Ford gives you better ideas. It's the going thing.
We have 11 minutes and 40 seconds left to play at Yankee Stadium. Minnesota 23, New York 10. Giants ball, 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line. Joe Morrison in at halfback. Well, we're just about to say that Fran had plenty of time, and it just caved in with Eller and Marshall, the two pincher movements there.
And he did have considerably more time than he's had, but deep downfield, Marcel McVie and Paul Krause had Homer Jones, his intended deep receiver, well covered. Quickly, we'll give you some scores. Dallas leading St. Louis 7-3. That Roger Staubach touchdown pass holding up. They're in the third quarter. Atlanta 24, San Francisco 12. Willard scored for San Francisco. Cincinnati leads San Diego 31-13. Houston leads Buffalo 17-3.
2nd and 15 at the 25. That's Morrison, but he can't get any speed up as he's really taken down from behind at about the 34-yard line. Make it about 3rd and 6. Carl Eller and Larson in there on the stop on Morrison.
Well, if Fran thinks he had a pass rush the last couple of downs, he can really anticipate one now. Again, that almost sure pass situation turns loose Carl Eller, Gary Larson, Alan Page, and Jim Marshall from any run responsibility. They just freewheel. Carl Eller, 81, the nearest to you. And Rich Buzzard will now be blocking Eller.
Well, Fran had to scramble in for his life. Dale Hackbart, number 49, pulls him down, and it's a 4th down. New York will have to give up the football. 10 minutes, 12 seconds left.
And those boos are more of frustration than anything else by these Giant fans who, of course, are just about a majority at 62,500 people here at Yankee Stadium, because Giant offensive line it just seemingly cannot keep the pressure off Tarkenton. Cleveland's out in front of Philadelphia, 27-20. Philadelphia scored on a Hawkins 41-yard touchdown pass from Norm Snead.
Bryan and West, the deep men. Gogolak to punt for New York. At the 25, Charlie West. And down he goes at about the 29.
And the last part of the third quarter and the first part of the fourth quarter has been just seesaw back and forth between the 20s. The Giant defense maybe not doing the outstanding job that Minnesota's defense is, but they've been containing Minnesota. 23-10, Minnesota over New York. 9 minutes and 30 seconds remain. Both teams with their 3 timeouts remaining.
Washington to the right, Henderson to the left. Brown. Fred Dreyer, number 89, the rookie defensive end, stops him.
And a wee bit of an upset. The Pittsburgh Steelers have defeated the Detroit Lions 16-13.
Hello there.
Hello, Chuck Noll, the new head coach of the Steelers. Well, the last time they won an opening.
Second down and 10. Intended for Osborne. Henry Davis, number 66, covering. It'll be third down and 10.
Sometime Quazzo feeling a bit of the pressure that Tarkenton has been living with throughout the ball game. Bob Lertzema, along with Bruce Anderson, pressuring. An important down now for the Giant defense. Third and 10. Gene Washington, John Henderson, wide receivers for Gary Quazzo as he spends a lot of time in the huddle dispensing information. Washington goes to the right to be covered by Scott Eaton. Henderson to the left to be covered by Willie Williams. The Giants up in their blitz formation.
Touchdown,
It's like an audible and a check off and another, and here it is, intended for Henderson rather, and it is incomplete with Tommy Crutcher and Willie Williams covering. Number 41, Willie Williams.
I don't know whether you heard that or not, but you saw Gary Quazzo reading the blitz, call the automatic, and the Giants automatic themselves out of the blitz, and then Gary Quazzo, I guess in the best way possible, said all off the same thing, indicating he wanted to go back to the play he had originally called in the huddle. Strategy.
So another punting situation. Bobley and deep for New York. Carl Lockhart and Brenner. 8 minutes, 41 seconds left. Willie Williams in there. Fair catch called for, and Lockhart takes it at the 41-yard line.
And just as the Giant offense was booed a few moments ago, the Giant defense gets an ovation as they again hold Minnesota and have turned over the ball to their offensive teammates. Real good field position on the Giants' 41-yard line.
There's Fredrickson. Oh, and he just can't quite break loose out of the grasp of Hilgenberg and Winston as he gets to midfield to the 49 and a first down.
Real fine call with that front four of Minnesota's anticipating the Giants trailing 23-10. They would anticipate the pass. The draw play catches them when they're in that wide open pass rush.
Send it over here for Herman, covered by Ursel McBee and Carl Kazuki.
And one of the photographers got into the action.
Have a very subjective view if he took the picture.
46, Ursel McBee. Bobby Bryant has played a fine game at right cornerback for the Minnesota Vikings. He has replaced Ed Shirachman, who was injured. Number 20, Bobby Bryant, 6'1", 180 pounds, second year out of South Carolina. Right cornerback for Minnesota.
There it is again to Fredrickson. One man, he gets by him, and finally Paul Krause brings him down at about the 30-yard line. First down and 10, 7 minutes, 28 seconds left to play.
And again, that draw play that worked so well. You see Alex Webster motioning Butch Wilson into the game to replace Freeman White, who is limping off the field. Wilson going in at the tight end position. But the draw play working well against the Viking front four, who had been sort of freewheeling on their pass rush.
Fredrickson, 56 yards on 10 carries. 1st and 10. Herman to the right, Jones to the left. Over Jones, and Bryant stopped him, but didn't bring him down. He just ran out of real estate over there. Oh, he is strong.
Homer Jones, he's a big one, and Bobby Bryant hasn't brought him down today, I don't believe. He's tackled him a couple times, failed to get him on the ground. Jones at 6'2", program listed at 220, more like 225. 6 minutes, 50 seconds remain, second and about 4.
At the 24-yard line. Inside the 20, I believe good for the first down. 6 minutes, 40 seconds left. First down for New York. And the crowd coming to life here at the stadium.
Can't help but notice that Harkington has worked himself into field position where he could go to his rookie, Don Herman, who is now flanked to the right. Herman, a real fine corner man from this position.
Joe Morrison, maybe to the 15, 14-yard line. Hilgenberg, Alan Page on the stop. As we look over now at the Giant coaching staff, here comes John Fuqua, number 29 in, and Joe Morrison will come out. 5 minutes, 50 seconds left.
Giants are going to have to hurry out of that huddle.
2nd down and 8 at the 15. Tucker Fredrickson holds on to it, but there'll be a loss on the play of about a yard or two. As Winston there to bring him down.
You saw the dismay in head coach Alex Webster, who had sent that play in. Minnesota, almost reading his thoughts, put a linebacker out over Don Herman and pass into the flat to Fredrickson, led him right into Roy Winston, the left linebacker for Minnesota. 3rd and 9, a pretty much of a must situation for New York. They trail 23-10, 5 minutes remain.
Wide open. Don Herman is in for the touchdown.
Well, we talked about Herman running a corner pattern. We thought he'd do it on the right side. Watch him drive down, drive inside, turn Bobby Bryant completely around. Watch us drive inside. To look, he's all alone. And the Giants have shortened the gap. Beautifully thrown by Tarkenton, and the rookie from Waynesburg has done it again. He's been so impressive.
He did the same thing in the same corner at Minnesota 2 weeks ago.
And he has some fine statistics coming from that small college out in western Pennsylvania. One game he caught 7 touchdown passes. It's hard to believe, but you can see why after you saw that fine pattern.
And the score narrows now to Minnesota 23, New York 17. We'll be back with the Giants kickoff in just a moment.
Hi, this is Phil Rizzuto. Here at Yankee Stadium, Peels took on 3 top beers of the East in a series of taste tests. Beer drinkers by the hundreds tasted, compared, and chose. And the results? Not one beer could beat Peels Real Draft. In one of the tests, Peels was preferred by 59 3/10% of the people. Why? Because Peels is real draft beer, and draft beer tastes fresher and lighter. Test Peels against your beer and see why real draft cannot be beaten.
On the road. Wherever we stopped, American Oil's lead-free Amoco took on its leading competitors in a mileage showdown. Again and again, lead-free Amoco came up with bonus miles per tank full over the competition. These drivers saw it happen. Seeing is believing. Make your own mileage test with lead-free Amoco. The Believer's gasoline. And only American Oil dealers have it.
4 minutes, 48 seconds left to play. Minnesota 23, New York 17. Go Galactic kickoff. Jones and Reed are Harris rather, the deep receivers for Minnesota. And Gogolak puts it about 2 yards short of the end line. It's out, and it'll be 1st and 10 at the 20.
Up to date on a couple of very important conference games. In that Central Division, Green Bay leads Chicago 14-0. Grabowski has scored for Green Bay, 14 yards out. Los Angeles Rams and the Baltimore Colts, favored pretty much equally in the Coastal Division, are tied up at 17 apiece in the third period. That Green Bay score we gave you is in the fourth period. Gabriel has thrown another touchdown pass for the Rams. This one to Ellison for 13 yards and a touchdown. The Rams and Colts, 17 apiece.
Osborne and Brown, the running backs. Washington to the left. Tom Hall to the right. 1st and 10 for the 20 for the Vikings, who lead 23-17. Osborne. So about the 24.
The Giant bench, as they have drawn within a touchdown of taking the lead. Up to Tony Pisani, the big man in the fedora, and I know you can hear this crowd. Having been down there a few times, it is electrifying. They're not too courteous to visiting quarterbacks. Of course, that works in reverse wherever you go. You have to live with it and play with it.
2nd down and 7. Hall to the left, Washington to the right. Osborne from about the 25. Jammed up there by Parker, 72. Lurcham is 71.
Giant defense rising up again. Watch Bob Lurcham now. He's working right in the middle, fighting off one block. That's Bruce Maher, the tight safety. And Jim Lindsay now comes in with more than likely a play from the Viking bench. Passing situation. Washington, Henderson, the wide receivers. Washington to the left against Willie Williams. To the right goes Tom Hall against Scott Eaton.
3rd and 5. Washington drops the ball, picked up by New York. New York's ball, 1st and 10 at the 35. 3 minutes and 6 seconds left. Washington hit on a rattling tackle.
And let's take a look at it. Washington slamming in, gets away from Willie Williams, but he is really jolted. Coughs up the football. Watch him get hit now, over the middle. Carl Lockhart barrels into him. And Ralph Heck comes up with the football, and Yankee Stadium is bedlam.
2 minutes, 55 seconds, 1st and 10 at the 36. Herman to the right, Jones to the left. Fuqua and Fredericks in the back. And there's Fuqua on the draw as he gets it down to the 27-yard line. Stopped in there by Kozulki. 2 minutes, 35 seconds, the clock moving.
Both teams in possession of all of their timeouts. 3. And the 2-minute warning coming up to also assist.
2nd down and about 1.5. Fuqua, one blocker in front, but it doesn't make out as down he goes and a flag goes down. The indication will be, I think, against New York, however. 2 minutes, 9 seconds on the clock.
That preliminary indication was a big one, holding 15 yards. That is going to move it all the way back to Minnesota's 43-yard line. And the obvious implications are that the Giants will have to go to the pass, and they have had more than their problems keeping Eller, Larson, Page, and Marshall off Fran Tarkenton's back.
2nd and 17. Eller coming in. The pass intended out there for Tucker Fredrickson.
So a big 3rd and 17 for the Giants. What do you do against the Minnesota Vikings on 3rd and 17? They'll be releasing that front 4. Minnesota has brought in their fifth halfback, Dale Hackbart. As Jones goes to the left, Herman to the right. The tight end is Butch Wilson on the right side.
A big pile of people down there, and I think the New Yorkers have it. Yes, first down at the 10. Butch Wilson, I believe, the tight end. It looked like a basketball fight down there as about 3 defensive men went up for it.
Keep in mind that one defender, it has to be a defender, not a Giant, who can touch this ball. Up they go for it, and Bobby Bryant hit it. Butch Wilson came up with it. Had that been a Giant player that hit it, it would have been disallowed. But Bobby Bryant hit it for Minnesota. Butch Wilson came up with it. 1:47 on the clock. And the 2-minute warning has been given to Tarkenton. And he is coming over to the Giant bench to join head coach Alex Webster. Alongside Alex Webster on his right, Roosevelt Brown, the line coach for the Giants. And here's where things get sticky. And I have to tell you, Jack, Red looks pretty cool.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? I was just going to comment on that. Like he's been here before.
He's been in a lot of them. 10 years a New York Giant. Never any excitement or panic in the huddle with him, and I spent 9 of my years with him there. Milt Plum steps into the picture, the Giant reserve quarterback. Minute 47 remains. The Giants have their 3 timeouts. Time is not the problem at this point. It's the Minnesota defense, which has been just about as stubborn as the Giant defense, surprisingly, in the second half has been. What a big break that was. Bobby Bryant batting that ball into the air, and Butch Wilson, who replaced Freeman White at tight end. Johnny on the spot. Can you imagine what's going to happen here, Jack, should the Giants score this touchdown?
I'll be able to hear it over at Shea Stadium. All right, 1st and goal from the 10, just inside the 10. 1 minute, 47 left. Fredrickson. And Hilgenberg gets his body in the way, and down goes Fredrickson for little or no gain. 130. 134.
Joe Morrison now has come in for New York, replacing Fuqua, the rookie. Morrison, the added stability of being a 10-year veteran, plus the fact that he's a fine receiver. And there's no doubt, I'm sure, that Tarkenton is well aware that from this point, he's going to have to throw the ball. Keep in mind, Herman, again, with those fine moves, very effective, down in close. Herman to the right, Jones to the left.
Touchdown! Right off Ucel McBee, and as you called it, Frank, a post pattern down and in, and it is all tied up.
There it is. Ron Herman, right between defenders, Ursel McBee and Roy Winston on the left side, and Fran Tarkenton, cool as an iceman, drilling the ball in between defenders. We'll look at it again. Herman right between defenders. Tarkenton zipping it in there. They say he can't throw from the pocket, Jack.
59 seconds left. Gogolak to try to put New York ahead for the important extra point right now. It is good. New York leads 24-23, 59 seconds left.
Don't go away. 59 seconds remain. Minnesota with 3 timeouts remaining. They have already demonstrated they can hit from anywhere on the field. And what a present this would be for head coach Alex Webster. Vikings dominating this game up into midway in the third quarter. Central Division champions of a year ago, and they have been played to a standstill in the third period and then outplayed in the fourth period. And surprisingly to me, Jack, has been the play of the Giant defense. Except for a couple of costly errors, it's been absolutely better than I've seen in years.
All right, Gogolak. That's Jones and Bill Harris deep. He sails this one. 5 or 6 yards in, and Harris is going to run it out to about the 18-yard line. Seconds now as Minnesota quickly lines up a 1st and 10. The ball at the 19. The Giants lead at 24-23. Lazo going for Washington, out of bounds. .42 seconds remain as we look over at the Viking bench. There is the time. Washington left, Hall to the right. Lazo going all the way for Gene Washington, and Lockhart almost has the interception. Incomplete pass at the New York Giant 30. 33 seconds on the clock. Merle Lockhart almost wrapped that up. Third down for Minnesota as we look at the Giant bench. Graham Tarkington, number 10. Head coach Alex Webster. Now, of course, Norm Hecker, the defensive coach, is directing things. It is third down. The Giants with only a 3-man rush. Quazzo getting caught and racked down at the 6-yard line. And look at the Giant bench. Bruce Anderson, Lertzema. It is fourth down, 28 seconds left. This Giant defense has really come of age here in this second half. Twice they made Minnesota settle for field goals. And now, with just 28 seconds left, Minnesota faced with a fourth down. Their own 9-yard line. As New York now calls a timeout. And Ralph Heck comes over to talk with Norm Hecker. Head coach Webster. This New York Giant team has been a long time without a victory. Halfway into last season, all the way through the preseason. And now they lead 24-23 with 28 seconds left. And a fourth down for the Vikings. Ralph Heck, number 55, talking with Norm Hecker in the baseball cap there, the defensive coach of the Giants. Both benches up. as the Vikings huddle at the goal line. Well, here we go, 4th down. 28 seconds left. It is complete to Henderson, but down he goes at the 25-yard line. And it is New York's ball with 19 seconds left. Fran Tarkenton, arms in the air, comes screaming out to embrace the defensive team as the defense have really made their mark here today. It's been a long time since there's been a scene like this on the New York sideline. Lertzema, Bruce Anderson, everybody. And the fans love it. Quite an upset here, as the Vikings were favored by 9 points. New York, 1st and 10 at the Viking 25, 19 seconds left. And when you consider the tremendous pressure that this great Viking defense has put on all afternoon, it is really one of the minor miracles of this first Sunday of the football season. And Tarkenton just falls down. Flag goes down. Illegal procedure in its decline. It'll be 2nd down, 16 seconds remaining. And again, Tarkenton just grabs on and drops to the ground. And here's the countdown. Listen. And look at this scene as the Giants defeat the Minnesota Vikings 24-23. Up, Alex Webster on the shoulders. That's Bruce Anderson, number 79, one of the carriers. And a tremendously emotional thing here at Yankee Stadium, with the Giants getting off with a stunning upset over Minnesota, 24-23. In a game that Minnesota was well out in front and controlled for most of it until somewhere in the 3rd period, when that Giant defense started to come together, stopped the scoring, and then all of a sudden the offense got a hold, and 2 great touchdown passes from Fran Tarkenton to the young rookie Don Herman, and all of a sudden New York was on top and Minnesota was on bottom. There's the final score: New York 24 and Minnesota 23. And the sellout crowd here at Yankee Stadium perhaps feels a good deal better than they did in the last game last season, and perhaps better than they felt coming in here this afternoon. A fine and excellently played ball game, with that Minnesota defense doing what everybody knows they can do so well and causing all kinds of havoc in the offensive plans of New York until the very end.